James Gunn is a remarkable phenomenon in Hollywood. Just a few years ago, he was directly affected by cancel culture, and today, he leads the DC universe. In our new episode, we'll try to analyze how the director started his journey with low-budget B-movies, became one of the key directors of Marvel, and reached its direct competitor DC. James Gunn has been passionate about cinema since his childhood. He grew up in a large family with 6 other children. 5 of them pursued a career in cinema, while only his sister Beth followed in their parents' footsteps and became a lawyer. In his youth, James would attend midnight screenings, read thematic magazines, and hang posters of Clint Eastwood and the movie Dawn of the Dead above his bed. He was greatly impressed by the aesthetics of low-budget horror films like Night of the Living Dead and Friday the 13th. Then he thought, why not try to make a slasher film himself, as it required minimal investment? This led James to his first film, shot at 19 years old with an 8mm camera in the woods near his home. The budget needed was small. Just go to the store and buy a few liters of ketchup to simulate blood. A new phase for James happened after high school, when he enrolled at St. Louis University's College of Arts. Simultaneously, young James drew political cartoons in the Student Weekly, the University News, and performed in the rock band The Icons. The band recorded one album and disbanded in the mid-1990s. That same year, looking to earn some decent cash over the summer, James, urged by his brother, joined the independent studio Troma Entertainment, known for churning out low-budget B-movies. The studio owner quickly connected with the young man and offered him to write the screenplay for Romeo and Juliet. This was an absurd parody of Shakespeare's novel with dark humor and a low budget of $350,000. The film gained cult status, and working on it provided Gunn with invaluable experience. He honed his skills in script writing, actor direction, location scouting, and even poster and billboard design. Gunn even managed to include 2 tracks that he had co-written with the band before they finally disbanded. Troma Entertainment proved to be the perfect launchpad. Gunn gained so much momentum that he quickly left his first job and wrote a fresh script for the comedy The Specials, about a superhero team deciding to take a well-deserved break. The film was directed by the future creator of the miniseries Chernobyl, Craig Mazin, with Gunn playing Minuteman, one of the superheroes. Despite its extremely low rating, it was the release of The Specials that catapulted Gunn's career. He moved to Los Angeles, found an agent, and secured his footing in Hollywood when he wrote the script for Scooby-Doo. The film was released in 2002 and successfully amassed over $300 million. Not long after, James was approached to script a remake of Dawn of the Dead. While his initial reaction was skepticism about its potential success, he managed to conjure some intriguing spins on the concept. It's quite the note that both movies hit the theaters just a week apart, and for a moment, they dominated the US box office charts side by side. This made Gunn the first screenwriter with 2 simultaneous chart toppers for 2 consecutive weeks. Continuing his scripting journey, Gunn felt the urge to level up in his artistic endeavors. In 2006, he took a chance behind the camera, directing the budget-conscious film Slither, which starred Nathan Fillion and Elizabeth Banks. It told the story of an extraterrestrial entity that overtakes Michael Rooker's body, rapidly adapting and morphing him into a creature of horror. While Slither had its fair share of humorous moments, it fundamentally remained true to its sci-fi genre. The film's CGI, considering it was 2006, stood out, rivaling many of its contemporaries. Despite Slither's modest box office performance, critics recognized and lauded Gunn's fresh take on a familiar genre. After Slither, Gunn agreed to produce a couple of comedic shorts for Xbox Live. But a larger triumph was his series PG Porn for the same platform. The show's brilliance was evident in its concept. TV actors and recognized adult film stars acted out mature-themed scenes, but instead of explicit content, viewers got unexpected comedic twists. This series skyrocketed to 20 million views, earning its spot as one of the most profitable web series in history. Then, in 2010, Gunn helmed Super, making his second full-length film and his debut in the superhero genre. The film is a bleak comedy centering on Frank, a man down on his luck, particularly with a failing marriage. In his desperation, he decides on an unconventional path, dressing in a comical superhero outfit to battle crime. With its raw, dark scenes juxtaposed with bizarre humor, it's intriguing to note that this very director would soon be responsible for Guardians of the Galaxy. Super showcased Gunn's penchant for the unorthodox, though it ruffled a few critical feathers. Super can be seen as Hollywood's response to the deluge of comic book films that were being produced at the same time. Creatively, the film shares similarities with both Kick-Ass installments. However, while Gunn initially attempts to craft a tragicomedy in the first 30 minutes, the genre undergoes a shift, as do the original character personas. The affable guy turns into a repelling psychopath, and the smart girl morphs into a reckless woman devoid of morals. All these changes culminate in a final act where Gunn indulges in scenes filled with brains flying everywhere, implied intercourse, and a screen awash with vomit. Such a wild experiment could have piqued excessive interest, but the film failed to recoup even a fifth of its production costs. Gunn's next venture was Movie 43, where he was one of the directors. The film was initially promoted as provocative, but according to critics, it turned out to be distasteful and unfunny. James Gunn directed the segment Beazle, in which the main character's girlfriend becomes jealous of his animated cat. Despite the setback with Super, it wasn't long before Gunn landed his most prestigious gig. And for this, the bigwigs at Marvel deserved some gratitude. The gamble was not just on Gunn's controversial style, but also on the story itself. At that time, hardly anyone knew of a superhero team comprised of a talking raccoon, a walking tree, and other lesser-known cosmic characters. For Gunn, this was his first experience with a hefty budget and almost absolute creative freedom. For someone more renowned as a scriptwriter than a director, it was a godsend. And James Gunn seized this opportunity with gusto, creating a Marvel film that was as uncharacteristic as one could imagine. With his unique touch, he transformed one of the most obscure comics into a captivating space opera, where the action swiftly accelerates. It's packed with battles, chases, skirmishes, and excellently choreographed fights, all set against the breathtaking backdrop of space, teeming with vivid colors. But what's even more important is the storyline. The characters' relationships are some of the most astonishing, humoring, touching, and witty ever depicted in comic-based movies. Much of the film's humor is built on their dialogues, aimed not just at making the audience laugh, but also at delving deeper into the characters themselves. They may continuously tease each other, but when times get tough, they'll stand united, shoulder to shoulder. In their own unique way, each character is broken inside, desperately searching for love, friendship, and understanding. Together, they transform into one crazy, close-knit family. The cast selected for this familial ensemble was incredibly heartwarming. Chris Pratt is enchanting and charismatic as Star-Lord. Dave Bautista strikes a balance between toughness and comedy. Zoe Saldana is dreamy as Gamora, and Rocket and Groot are sheer delights. Moreover, this film introduces us to the future arch-nemesis of the Avengers, Thanos, and offers one of the most creative Stan Lee cameos. James Gunn masterfully handles an ensemble cast, giving each character ample screen time to shine and develop. On one hand, the narrative formula might feel straightforward and familiar, yet on the other, we're presented with a visual feast featuring genuine, intriguing characters, all set against an iconic rock and roll soundtrack. The movie captured a slice of pure joy, rightfully earning $770 million globally, which at the time ranked third among all the studio's releases. Such was Marvel's appreciation for Gunn. A sequel was only a matter of time. And it took precisely 3 years. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 kicks off with the scene of a young Kurt Russell cruising in a convertible to the tunes of the 70s, a rare moment set on Earth. We delve deeper into Star-Lord's family history, then are greeted with a vibrant dance-off amidst the familiar cosmic settings. Little Groot, in particular, steals scenes with his innocent antics and early stages of rebirth. Guardians 2 is every bit as spectacular as the first. It's another dose of adventures in the familiar style, with family being the central theme, explored even more in depth. Gunn's humor, at times edging beyond family-friendly, shines through. After all, having created adult content for years, Gunn couldn't resist adding a few risque jokes. New to the cast were the likes of Sylvester Stallone and a cameo from David Hasselhoff. A surprise appearance by Howard the Duck delighted many fans. One of Gunn's strong suits is crafting scenes where humor springs naturally from the action. Take Baby Groot, for instance, whether he's hilariously messing up during the opening credits or carelessly handling a bomb. It's both tense and utterly endearing. This version of Groot became such a fan favorite that it even led to a spin-off miniseries on Disney+, highly recommended for families. While Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 doesn't necessarily break any new ground, As its predecessor did the heavy lifting in that regard, it remains a delightful journey with beloved characters. We get closer to them and witness the escalation in set design and special effects. With a budget of $200 million, the movie raked in a whopping $863 million, making yet another massive success for Marvel under Gunn's direction. Despite building his career on humor, it ironically backfired on Gunn in 2018. Controversial tweets from his past, including offensive jokes about terrorism, pedophilia, child abuse, the Holocaust, and AIDS, surfaced on Twitter. This caused significant public outcry. Gunn swiftly deleted nearly 10,000 tweets from between 2008 and 2011. Although he issued a formal apology expressing deep regret for his decade-old comments, the damage was done. The machine for the director's cancellation was gaining momentum until it reached Marvel's leadership. James recounts how he called Kevin Feige and asked, "Is this for real?" To which he replied, "I don't know. There was a moment there. I told him, 'You don't know?' I was shocked. Later, Feige called me. He was in shock himself and explained that the decision came from the higher-ups. Gunn admitted he was floored when he heard the news and felt like his career was over. He couldn't believe it. It seemed that in one day, everything was lost. He thought he'd have to sell his house. He felt he'd never work again." Asked if he considered himself a victim of cancel culture, the director responded that it's not that simple. According to him, the cancel culture issue is much more complex as it also concerns people like Harvey Weinstein, who should indeed be canceled. The challenge lies in finding the right balance. At that time, not only fans but also colleagues stood up for James. On July 30th, 2018, an open petition supporting Gunn from the cast of Guardians of the Galaxy was published on Marvel's social media page. Fans and friends hoped for a quick resolution of the conflict. These measures paid off in 2019 when Disney's top brass decided to reinstate their working relationship with James Gunn. But by the time Marvel and James Gunn mended fences, a pivotal moment in the director's career had occurred. It was right after the public scandal that Warner Bros. Cunningly lured James to their side, promising him full creative freedom not just over the story, but also regarding age ratings. That's how he began to create a new version of Suicide Squad. The studio trusted Gunn so much that they accommodated his every wish. For instance, at his personal request, the movie's shooting location was moved from the UK to Atlanta so Gunn could spend time with his dying father. Then, James Gunn did what he does best. He brought together lesser-known superheroes, formed a dream team, and made the audience love them, even for their questionable traits. It can be said that the studio took a risky step following Disney. On one hand, they willingly believed in the director's creative ideas. On the other, his recently tarnished reputation and the previously panned version of Suicide Squad could have backfired on the DC studio. However, all risks were fully justified. The director's signature humor works flawlessly, and the permitted R ratings gives a fresh twist to the jokes with its frank trash and madness. The movie even laughs at itself, wholeheartedly playing on self-irony. Heroes place bets on who will die first, and squad members compare bullet sizes. All of this action takes place under the director's signature rock and roll and vibrant action with splashes of blood, human organs, and severed limbs. Gunn unflinchingly created a movie from the picture in his head. Another favorite technique of Gunn that made its way into the film is the presence of anthropomorphic characters, both main and secondary. There's the charming pet rat Sebastian and the ferocious King Shark, who deep down is truly kind-hearted. This is rare for contemporary superhero films where, despite the limited runtime and abundance of characters, no one is left unnoticed. Each gets a well-deserved comprehensive storyline. Under Gunn's direction, characters like Bloodsport, Harley, Flag, Peacemaker, Polka Dot Man, and the rest of the main squad are fun and memorable without trying to force empathy from the audience. The movie does have its flaws, like cardboard villains and a completely predictable storyline, but James Gunn's superhero films should be watched purely as vibrant spectacles, where overused tropes are painted in different colors, eliciting a whirlwind of emotions. David Ayer's 2016 version of Suicide Squad underwent constant reshoots and edits. As a result, it came out as a jumbled mishmash of flashbacks and montage cuts. In contrast, James Gunn's work is a completely original project, where the director was given full reign to play with unconventional superheroes, managing to balance the film to allow enough time for plot and character development while leaving room for both humor and seriousness. Given the subpar release of Wonder Woman 1984 the previous year, the heavily criticized Justice League, and numerous on-set controversies, DC's future seemed murky. However, James Gunn came to the rescue. reminding comic book fans that superhero cinema can still delight and entertain with the right, unique approach. Evidence of this is his next, rather unexpected project. Shortly after wrapping up Suicide Squad, Gunn penned the miniseries Peacemaker for HBO Max. Many might find it odd that the director chose to narrate a separate story about a hero whose entire plotline is built on a singular joke, that he's willing to bring peace by any means necessary, regardless of how many men, women, or children he has to kill. Yet, as one can trace throughout Gunn's filmography, he never took the easy way out. In Suicide Squad, the character was pitted against Bloodsport, embodying toxic masculinity and constantly butting heads with everyone. But in the standalone series, he's not just a brutish bone breaker. He's a fully fledged person with his personal weaknesses and simple mistakes. He constantly encounters awkward situations and falls into the traps of psychological trauma, of which he has plenty. A mocking father, troubles meeting women, feelings of loneliness, self-devaluation, and a constant sense of being an imposter. As Peacemaker evolves through the narrative, so too does the rich diversity in John Cena's performance. This isn't the first instance of a past wrestler blossoming into a major actor, as demonstrated by Dave Bautista's portrayal of Drax. John so naturally embodies Peacemaker that you're left without a shred of doubt regarding the character's personal anguish. Peacemaker, in essence, exemplifies the negatives and toxicities prevalent in many male superheroes. He possesses a kind heart but hesitates and fears displaying emotion. His dedication to duty and nation wraps into sheer brutality and militarism. Yet, what distinguishes him from other characters is that Peacemaker doesn't choose this moral deformity. He genuinely struggles to understand any other way, earnestly trying to connect with his own heart. The series' introduction, featuring main characters dancing aerobically to Wigwam's infectious "Do You Wanna Taste It" with stoic expressions, speaks volumes. Here, one might detect undertones reminiscent of budgeted satirical endeavors like Tromeo and Juliet or Cannibal, the musical. Peacemaker doesn't break new ground, but it delivers a veritable parade of meta-humor centered on contemporary pop culture, wrestling, and DC's comic figures. Yet, many yearned for the return of the very team marking the inception of James Gunn's triumphs. This year partially fulfilled such hopes as the festive film, The Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, premiered. Within, Mantis and Drax endeavor to celebrate with Peter, kidnapping and gifting him his childhood idol, Kevin Bacon, renowned for his iconic performances. This enchanting yet straightforward mini-journey invites listeners to savor Christmas tunes, immerse in the warmth of gift exchanges, and bask in the snug ambience alongside our cherished cosmic ensemble. All 42 minutes offer a refreshing, breezy experience, bypassing grand human-saving narratives to instead rescue Christmas. Within this cinematic universe, James Gunn crafts a genuine Yuletide narrative, portraying free-spirited champions eager to bestow joy and delight upon their dear ones, albeit through slightly unorthodox means. Reverting to Guardians of the Galaxy, the director reaffirms his ability to remain authentic, effortlessly transitioning to noble champions after indulging in the raw edges of an R rating at DC. Remarkably, despite its simplistic design, this festive installment emerges as one of the pinnacle endeavors of Marvel's fourth epic, maintaining its unique characters and distinctive flair. The film was shot simultaneously with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and the director immediately made clear that this would be a rather tragic movie. This marks his last collaboration with Marvel. In addition, he's fervently preparing for the second season of Peacemaker. James Gunn now bears immense responsibility. In October of 2022, he was officially appointed as the co-CEO of DC Studios, where he'll lead creative processes alongside Peter Safran. In an official statement, both Gunn and Safran expressed their immense honor in heading the studio. Gunn further emphasized his dedication to Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and other characters. On December 15th, he made a significant decision, indicating to Henry Cavill that his continued portrayal of Superman was no longer required. This came just a few weeks after Cavill posted a heartfelt message suggesting his return to the Superman role and departure from The Witcher. Now, the actor has lost both of his most popular roles. James Gunn instantly became the target of negative comments and a wave of backlash. However, it appears that despite the difficulties, He made this decision with conviction, focused entirely on crafting a new cinematic universe, with Gunn intent on turning a new page. The first film in this cinematic universe reboot will be Superman Legacy, for which Gunn will personally pen the script. Now, let's talk about Gunn for a moment. No matter where you stand on him, one thing's undeniable. The man knows how to make characters resonate. Alongside their iconic moments of heroism, Gunn's characters grapple with powerful themes of love, self-acceptance, and overcoming personal challenges. Every project he touches is sprinkled with his unique details and, of course, his impeccable sense of humor. Today, James Gunn stands as a titan in the superhero genre, tasked with shaping the entire DC universe. I, for one, believe he's up to the challenge. And with that, we're rounding off today's segment. A big thanks to everyone who stuck around till the end. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share with your friends. And don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments below. Drawing from Gunn's movies, I wish you all an abundance of love and laughter. We'll catch up soon in our next video.